first thing I do is moisturize my face. I'm just going to use this Gold Bonds lotion. You should probably get a face lotion, but this is what I'm going to use because my face has been really dry, especially with how cold it's been. But my face also can get really oily depending on what foundation I use. And then you want to go in with some sort of primer. I actually made my own primer water, which is a DIY for the Smashbox primer, and I can show you guys how to make this. This is what I normally use, but I actually just got this rose water from Marshall's, so I'm going to use this today because I've heard a lot of good things about it. And honestly, I really like the glass bottle that it was in, so that's kind of why I bought it. But, so moisturizer, then a primer. This is what I do. I'm using the Born This Way foundation. I'm using Pearl. So I just pump a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I use a beauty blender. Some people get their beauty blender damp. I don't really care to do that, honestly, because the whole point of that is it kind of picks up some of your product, and I don't want that. I want like as much full coverage as possible because I have like rosacea on my cheeks, which you actually can't see it as much in the camera. I think you can see it a lot more in person. So I like a pretty full coverage foundation, but I have to be careful with this stuff because it makes me really oily. So if you're super oily, I don't know that I would recommend this foundation because it creases like in here, and then on my nose it'll be kind of crazy, and then it'll crease in here. So I start on the outside of my face and I kind of work my way in. That way I'm getting like the least amount of product in the center of my face. And it'll also kind of get cakey right in there too. So you really don't need a whole lot of this. I like to press it in because I feel like when I drag it, I kind of like just move the product around, and I feel like when I press it in, I get more of a full coverage. Okay. So normally I would do my eyeshadow first before I do my foundation, but I'm not going to do like a crazy amount of eyeshadow today, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because normally I would do my eyeshadow first, that like in case I were to mess it up, I can take some makeup wipes and just kind of clean it up, but I'm not going to be doing like crazy eyeshadow, so I just went ahead and did my foundation. So now I'm going to take the RCMA No Color Powder and use that to set my foundation. You always, well, in my opinion, you always want to set your foundation. And this foundation can be like kind of sticky if you don't set it. So I would really recommend setting it. Can't find my brush. Okay. So I just put a little bit of the powder in the lid, and I'm just going to take my brush and dip it in there. Ooh, I'm wearing black leggings. Dip it in there a little bit, and I kind of tap it, and a lot of the powder is going to come off, and then I kind of shake it even more. So I like to press the powder in. I don't drag it because, again, I kind of feel like that just smears my powder, or my liquid foundation off that I just put on. So just kind of pat this all over your face to set that. Okay, this stuff is really messy. So now I'm going to take my same brush. I'm just kind of brushing off the extra powder because it can leave like a white residue on your face. Okay. Now for my eyeshadow, I'm going to use this Tarte palette. It says Tartelette in Bloom, so I guess that's the name of it. And it looks like this. I like it. Okay, so first you want to use some sort of an eye primer, but I've never used one, so I don't know how well they actually work, but I just use my concealer. I'm using my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in Light Warm. So that's what I like to use because my eyes, you can't really tell because I did get some foundation on my eyelids, but normally they're like kind of veiny, and so this kind of evens out the skin tone. And as far as like, these are a little bit more expensive products, but like drugstore products, the Maybelline concealer is really good. And then also, I like this foundation, the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I really like that foundation too. Those are some cheaper options. I think this concealer is like $32, and then my foundation's like $40. Okay, and then again, you want to set any liquids that you're doing with a powder. So I'm taking my Morphe M438 brush, and I have my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette Kit, whatever. So I'm taking my banana powder in the middle, and I'm just like, I'm not getting a whole lot, but then I'm just going to put that on my eyelids to set it. You can also use this other lighter shade, it doesn't matter, but I just really love this banana powder color. It's yellow, my skin's yellow, so it matches. Okay, so now back to my Tarte palette. You want to go in with a fluffy brush first, and you want to start with lighter color. So even if you want like a darker color in your crease, you want to start with a lighter color, because if you go in straight with the dark color, it's going to look really crazy. So you want to kind of blend it slowly, so you want to build. So I'm using a Morphe M441 just fluffy brush, and I'm going in with Flower Child first. It's like a lighter shade. It's kind of like my skin color a little bit. It's a little darker. I still have some color left on my brush from where I did my makeup last night, but that's okay. So just kind of start, I just kind of start in my crease, and then I just go back and forth, like, or I start in the corner, and then I go like back and forth in like windshield wiper motions, and that is going to be my transition color. Sorry, my mouth is open. Okay, now I'm doing Smarty Pants, which is a little bit darker. And I am like not very good at blending, to be honest. I want to be. But the key is to build your colors. So the more kind of transition shades you have, the better. Okay. So now I'm going to go in with a little bit of a darker color. Actually, it's pretty dark. With Rebel right here, because I want like a maroon, like smoky eye type deal. Okay. I'm not getting a ton of product on my brush, and you can even like tap it off if you feel like you're getting too much. And I'm just like lightly dabbing it in my outer corner. And I'm not going to take this all the way over like what I was doing with the lighter colors, because I want it to be the darkest in the outer corner. And I'm actually going to leave that how it is. I didn't really put too much over there, but I like the way that it looks. Okay. Now, and for that color, you really could have gone to a smaller brush, but sometimes my smaller one that I'm about to tell you about is not as good at blending and looks a little crazy. This one is a M433 brush, and I'm going to go back in with that same color, Rebel, and just add a little more. Not much, just a little. Okay. And I'm going to add a tiny bit of the darkest red on here. It's called Leader. Just a little. And you can see I don't really take my eyeshadow like really far out. Like some people will take it like all the way out here. I don't feel like I'm good enough to do that yet, honestly. Like I'm not very good at blending, so I kind of like to keep it a little more tame. I can see I have something right here. And if your colors aren't like blending as well as you wanted them to, you can go back in with a lighter color. So go back in with your bigger fluffy brush, and then like Smarty Pants, that was one of the darker tans, and just kind of like go over top of it. Okay, so now, yeah, I got that powder everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with another drugstore product. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Eyeshadow. It looks like this. I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't know. So this is like a really pretty gold, and I love it. Okay. So you can take your finger. I can't do it because I have nails on right now, but you don't need anything fancy for this. I would normally use my finger, but I'm just going to take this like flat brush. This is just a random like Kroger brush, I think, and just kind of dip it in and pack it onto my eyelid. So just like, I'm not taking it all the way out to the outer corner though. I'm just doing like more so on the inner corner and then stopping about like 3/4 of the way. You don't want to cover up like all the dark that you just blended out. I hope you guys can tell what I'm doing. Okay. So now I'm going to get my Tarte palette back out, and I'm going to go in with this sparkly color called Funny Girl. Same little flat brush. And I'm going to, it's like a more of a pinky tone. I'm going to put that right on top of the gold glitter stuff that I just used. I love this color. It's like a light pinkish, whitish gold. It's really pretty. I think this palette was like 30 to 40, somewhere in there. I would recommend Morphe. They are pretty cheap, and they're really easy to work with, like especially when you're first starting out. Like this palette I got from Morphe, and you have a ton of colors, and I love it. I think this is like $22 on Morphe's website, so that's really good for a whole palette. Like I said, this tiny one was like 30 or 40, so Morphe's are really awesome. Okay, now I'm going to do my eyeliner. I'm really bad at eyeliner. Okay, so I'm using a drugstore eyeliner. It's a Revlon Color Stay Liquid Liner, and it's in like just black. I don't know. Okay, so what I've been doing recently, I want to see if I can like zoom you guys in better or something. Oh, is that focus for real? Oh my gosh, now I'm noticing how crazy my eyeshadow looks. Oh, it doesn't look this bad in person, guys. I'm like doing my makeup in the viewfinder right now. Okay, maybe I'll just back like that. Okay, I swear it doesn't look this bad in person. Oh my gosh. Now I feel like I need to blend more. Okay, I'm leaving it because it really doesn't look that bad in person, I promise. Alright. So for eyeliner, what I've been doing lately, I'm going to try to explain this as best I can, but you'll just have to watch what I'm doing. Okay, so I start by just like tracing my lash line. And like kind of getting it thicker over here and thinner on the inside because you want it to gradually get bigger, so or thicker. I'm not a pro at this, guys. I wish I was better. Can y'all see that? Okay. Then I just slowly start to build my wing. And if I make it too thick, I just drag it out further so I can thin it out. I'm gonna stop there before I like mess it up really bad. Like I just did. Okay, that's fine. So I'm basically gonna do the same thing to the other eye. It's just really hard to be that close. Oh my god. Stop. Okay, so that's not even, but that's okay. So now I'm going to do my brows. So I'm using the Urban Decay Brow Beater in dark. Alright, so it has like a little spoolie on one end. I don't even know if you can see that when I do that, but and then a little, you know, thing on the other end where you actually draw it on. I like this because it is my color, because my eyebrows are weird and they have like kind of a grayish tint to them, so if I just get like a brown brow pencil, it looks really crazy. But I'll be honest, this stuff I don't feel like really lasts like all day. Like it starts just like kind of rubbing off throughout the day, and I can tell. So it's kind of annoying, and I want to try the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I've heard a lot of people use that. So basically what I do for this, I don't know if you guys can see, is I just start on the inside where these little baby hairs are that y'all probably can't even see, and I just start lightly drawing, very lightly. I just lightly in small strokes kind of like draw it on, and I do the bottom first, and then I kind of like, after I've done the bottom, I kind of start shaping the top. Like I kind of trace the outline of my brow and then fill it in after. And for the top, I always kind of like, I don't really draw a straight line. I just kind of like, I don't know, like I'm sketching. I don't know how to explain it, honestly. And then, okay. So now, once I'm in this inner corner, I just do like little light strokes up. Just going with the hairs. And I don't do like super crazy eyebrows, so I'm actually gonna leave it right there and not touch it anymore, maybe. Okay, so same thing for the other brow. Okay, so now I'm going to do concealer. So normally if I didn't already put on my foundation, I would take something to like clean off the fallout from my eyeshadow, but I already put my foundation on, so I'm just going to go straight in with my Urban Decay concealer, and I just kind of do that. A little bit there. And then I'll normally dab a little here and wherever my rosacea is a little worse. Okay. So I blend that out with my Beauty Blender too. And I actually use this sometimes to clean up like right under my wing. Like I'll dab this right along under my wing, and that kind of like takes away the eyeshadow that kind of like got blended down there. So that's something I do to kind of clean it up. And just kind of blend this out. Nothing crazy. I'm pressing, you don't want to drag it. Okay, so this just kind of lightens it up. I don't really have dark circles. I just like to use this to make my face kind of brighter. So now you want to set your under eye area. I'm going to go back in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Palette, and same thing I did to set my eyelids with my Morphe M438 brush and my banana powder in the middle. And for your under eye, you don't want to drag it. And if you get too much on your brush, again, just tap it off. Okay. And now I'm going to take the same powder and set right here, because in those creases, my makeup creases a lot. So, and down here, I'm just putting powder everywhere that I crease really bad. And that kind of helps it. Okay, so now for my bronzer, I use a drugstore bronzer, but it's a little more on the expensive side for a drugstore. It's like $15. It's the Butter Bronzer. And another reason why you want to set your foundation is because when you go in with colors, it's not going to blend over top of a liquid. So you want a powder base to blend your powders, so your contour and everything. And actually, I'm going to set this a little bit more, just because when I touch it, it's a little sticky. I'm going to use my Too Faced powder in the shade Fair also. If your makeup tends to get really cakey throughout the day, I wouldn't recommend using a foundation powder to set your foundation, because then you're basically putting foundation on top of foundation and your makeup's going to get really cakey really fast. So I'm just doing this because I don't feel like messing with my other powder because it makes a mess. I'm just putting more of this where I'm going to put my bronzer and where I'm going to put my contour. Okay, so now I'm taking my Butter Bronzer, and I'm taking this brush. It's from Bellaterra Mineral Cosmetics, but you can take any big fluffy brush. This one was kind of expensive. I bought it at the beach because some guy convinced me to. I like it, but I think I could have got a cheaper one. It was like $60. But I got free makeup with it. So I put this like where I'm going to contour, right there on my cheekbone. I put it like on top of my cheekbone first anyways. Next I put it on my forehead. This kind of helps make your forehead look smaller. Kind of. And I need that. I do a lot. It's really buildable and you don't get a lot of product at first. So don't be afraid to kind of, I think this is a good one because you're not going to overdo it, so don't be afraid to put more. Okay, and then I also do it kind of along my jawline. And I also bring it down my neck. Just because my foundation is a little bit darker than my skin tone, and this kind of helps you from having to put foundation all the way down your neck. You can just put your bronzer there. Now I'm going to contour with my contour kit, and I'm going to use this brush by Morphe. It's the M523 brush. It's kind of like a flatter brush, but the bristles are like longest in the middle and then they kind of get shorter on the sides, so I feel like it fits like really good inside your face. I use this middle shade when I'm pale, but when I'm tan I use that shade and it's like perfect. So this is more of like a cooler tone that I use when I'm pale, and I just kind of suck my cheek in like that and just follow that like natural line. So you'll see it kind of gives like just a nice little shadow. Another one just for options is this little e.l.f. brush. I think it was maybe like $3. I think it's a blush brush, but I actually like it for contour. So I'm going to show you how I would use this one on this side, because I mean, I don't think this Morphe brush was very expensive, but this one might be more convenient. You can just like get it at Walmart. So I just dip it in there, and then you want to start at your hairline and come in, because if you don't blend it all the way up into your hairline, you're going to have a line like right here and it's going to look like crazy. So I just kind of like drag it up. This brush is a lot more flimsy than this one. The hairs are just more compact. So you can see this one's a little lighter. So I'm going to go back in with my Morphe brush. Okay. So now I do the same thing to contour my forehead, except when I'm contouring my cheeks, I dip it straight in like this. But when I contour my forehead, I dip it in at an angle just to have like a flat surface. So I just put it in there flat. Can you see that? And then like I start in my hair again and kind of work my way to the middle, and I just do like all around my hairline. Okay, and then a lot of people like to contour their jaw, but I'm gonna try it. I never feel like it makes a huge difference, or it makes me look like I have a beard. I don't feel like it does anything, or I'm doing it wrong. Okay, now to contour my nose, I'm using my same eyeshadow brush, so I just kind of like wipe it off on myself. sanitary, to get like the reds off that we have in our eyes. And I use the middle shade again. And I don't do a lot because a contoured nose can look really crazy really fast. So I literally just like do it along like the natural shadow of my nose. So you want it to go all the way up into your eyebrow and then come down the bridge, and then I like normally take it under too. There may be a better way to do it, but that's how I do it. I don't do like extreme anything because I'm still not like very good at blending, so I feel like the lighter I do it, the better it's gonna look, and it just looks more natural that way too. Not that I want to look natural, but until I master my skills of blending, this is what we get. And you can kind of take that color down the side just so you don't have like a line of brown on your face. That's not good. So I'm taking this brush from e.l.f. It's a concealer brush, but that's what I'm going to use for my lower lash line. And I'm going to take the darkest color that I put in my crease. Typically you would want to do your lower lash line the same as you do your eyelid and kind of build it, but I did this yesterday and I really like the way it worked. So just make sure you have a very tiny brush, because if you get dark everywhere, it's going to look crazy. So I'm taking my darkest color, which was Leader, this like purpley maroon, and I'm tapping it, and then I'm going to go like, I want the darkest color in my outer corner. So wherever you touch your brush on your face first is where it's going to catch the most pigment. And I'm going to do the same thing for my other eye. Now I'm going to take another e.l.f. brush. This is the eye crease brush, and it's just like kind of round. And I'm going to take a lighter color like Smarty Pants to use to like blend out the lower lashes. Because you don't want it to be like just a straight line. I want it to be like a little more smoky. We can do blush. I have this huge blush palette that I got from Forever 21 that I like, but any blush will do. So I'm going to take my big fluffy powder brush again and do like this light pinky color and mix it with this like brownie color. I don't like really bright pinks. And I actually start right here. I don't want it on the apples of my cheeks because I feel like that makes me look like a clown and it'll make your face look really round. So I start like right there and kind of go up towards like my hairline, I guess. You want to keep it above your contour, so you want it to be like a gradual fade from your contour into your blush. So I don't take it past about there. I like it to stop right at the corner of my eye. Any blush will work though. These blushes are not all that. I just got it because it was a huge palette. That'll do. Okay. Now, it doesn't even look like I'm wearing any makeup. Now I'm going to do my lashes. So I actually like my drugstore lashes better. I bought like a $20 pair of lashes and I hated them. They were like really crazy. They were way too big and they hurt my eyes. They were like stabbing the inside of my eyes, and I tried like cutting them and putting them on individually and I hated them. I bought these Kiss lashes from Kroger for like $3. I love them. They're like really light. They're not too dramatic. It just gives you a nice like wispy lash. And it helps your eye makeup to look more smoky too. So I curl my lashes first. You really want to curl them because if you don't, your fake lashes are going to go up and your lashes are going to go down. And if someone looks at you from the side, they're going to be able to tell. Okay. So, like, Brian, my boyfriend, told me, he was like, are you wearing fake eyelashes? And he never notices makeup. And it was because I didn't curl my lashes. He could tell. And I was like, if you can tell, then it's bad. So, don't hurt yourself. I just pinched my eyelid. I hate eyelash curlers. Okay. Just hold it on for a few minutes. Seconds, not minutes. And now I'm going to take one of my eyelashes. I can never tell which way they go. Okay. And it's stuck to my finger. I use this Duo brush on adhesive. So I'm taking my lash glue and you just want to brush it along the band. I put quite a bit on there, especially in the inner corner. That's where I have my most problems with my lashes lifting up, is in the inner corner. So I like pack on the glue. Pack it on. Okay, so while that's drying, you want to put on a coat of mascara so your natural lashes are as dark as your fake lashes. So I'm using L'Oreal Paris Voluminous Original. And after you put on your mascara, you don't want to look up because then you're going to get black dots all in your eyeshadow. I put a generous coat on. Not a ton, I guess. Okay. You want to wait for your glue to like get tacky, like kind of sticky. I will touch mine. Okay, I touch mine to see when it's done. You want to stick it. You don't want it to completely dry, or then you can't use it, but you don't want it wet and it's sliding all over the place. So I just set mine down in the middle and then just kind of move them around from there. Okay, my tweezers. I use my tweezers for the inside, for the inner corner. And then I just kind of take my tweezers and put them under my lash and put them on top of the fake lashes and kind of like smush them together along the lash line. I don't know what it's called. Okay. So that actually went on perfectly. Okay, so you see how that just makes it look like brighter and more smoky automatically? I love lashes. They're so comfy. Like, they're so lightweight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the lash glue on here just so it'll dry quicker while I'm doing my other stuff. So I'm just curling my other lashes while the glue's like getting tacky. And putting my mascara on again. Good enough. They're not completely dry, but I'm going to put them on. My tweezers. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Don't stab your eyeball out. And and I just kind of press them on all over to make sure that they're like sticking. Ugh, this inner corner hates me always. Okay, every time I blink it comes up, so I'm gonna hold it. Okay, it might be good. So when you're putting your lashes on, you don't want them to be like too far over on this side, like hanging over too far, because if they're too far over here, they're gonna make your eye look really saggy instead of opening it up, and your eye's gonna look droopy. Okay. Sorry, I keep messing with my hair. It's crazy. Alright, so now I'm going out with my same mascara and doing my lower lashes. Now, lips. I like to wipe my lips off because when I put my foundation on, it gets like disgusting on my lips. So I like to wipe them off. I'm going to use my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil in the color Liar. It's really pretty to just line my lips with. So I like start on the bottom. I don't really know how to explain lining your lips, just follow the natural line. I'm going to sharpen this a little because it's kind of dull. That looks good. Okay, now I do like to overline them a little bit. Doesn't everybody? So the key is to not overline it on your Cupid's bow, because, which is right here, if you don't know, what the heck, because that is what is like really obvious. So I overline it on the bottom, kind of all over, honestly, you can't really tell as much on there, and then on the sides on the top. So I like to like trace the actual shape of my lips first, that way I know kind of, I can do it like a little bit at a time, because I'm not trying to be crazy. I still don't want it to look too crazy. I like to overline it more in the center on the bottom. Okay, and then I kind of just like ombre it in so it's not like a harsh liner, because I am going to use a lighter color lipstick. That's also going to help your lips look bigger if you have like more of an ombre and have a lighter color in the middle and a darker color on the outside. So another drugstore product I'm using, this is L'Oreal Color Rich 800 Fairest Nude. I love this stuff. I want it to be a little glossier. I still want it matte, but the lip liners do kind of dry my lips out. I love this lipstick. I think it's really pretty. Okay, I almost forgot my highlight. So I'm using this Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. And it's not like a powder, it's kind of weird, it's like a cream, I guess. And so I don't rub it on because that makes my makeup separate because putting it on top of a powder. So I just kind of dab it on like the highest point of my cheekbones. Like that. Look, you can see it. Okay, same thing on the other side. Again, I'm not dragging it, I'm just like patting it. And then I put some on my nose and some on the bridge. Okay, and then I also like to put the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlight on top of it. So I use my finger, honestly. I just use my finger and then I rub it on here, but then I pat it on top of that highlight. Yeah. Like that. You can use a brush. I like my finger. And it's cheaper. This one always looks crazy. That's okay. Oh. And my nose. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think that's everything. So I hope that that was helpful, and if you have any questions you can ask me and I'll hopefully be able to explain it, but I hope I did an okay job of explaining everything and you're able to kind of figure it out from there. But it's really not hard, just kind of play around with it, and the more you practice the better you'll get. So thanks for watching. Now we're done for real, and I want to wear a hat.